How's it going, guys? Serious here, and today I've decided to test out quantity versus rarity. To start, I ran 30 maps that are only empowered by rarity tablets and another 30 maps that are only empowered by quantity tablets. I paired that up with Expedition, of course, and Delirium by instilling the instilled paranoias on the maps. All of the maps are all the same. All of them have either pure rarity or hybrid quantity and rarity. As for the tablets, I searched on my atlas for a cluster of 2 towers that are close to each other for each farm individually. I used one irradiation tower that has the rarity or quantity modifier depending on which farm I was doing. Paired it up with another expedition tablet that has either quantity or rarity, and the unique tablet for expedition that doubles the amount of runic monsters we can have, because I also wanted to see if quantity affects the logbook drops. As you can see here, I'm setting up my quantity farm. I did the same thing for rarity, but on another place on the atlas with the rarity modifier instead of the quantity modifier. As you can see, the maps have 27% quantity of items. I ran only the ones that are empowered by both towers, and I did the exact same thing for the rarity farm. Here you can see where I set up my rarity farm. I already ran all the maps, but from the ones that are left out, I have 58% rarity of items on my maps. Now I will be showcasing highlights of both farms, and in the end I have all the loot separated in 2 tabs. We will see which one was more profitable. Okay, now that the maps are complete, let's talk loot. First of all, I did not include any of the waystones that I dropped. That is because waystones are not affected by quantity and rarity. They're only affected by the waystone drop chance on the maps, and this could have been random, so I did not count those. Of course, I did not also count the uniques, because when you improve your rarity, generally uniques will drop a lot more. Funny enough, we dropped the dream fragment. If this were last league, I would have been very rich, but now it's completely worthless. Also, we've dropped this nice spear and this one, but it's pretty bad rolled. Well, who cares? As for the tablets, funny enough, we dropped the exact same amount of tablets, so tablets might not be affected by quantity and rarity. Now let's move to the currency part. As you can see, the numbers are pretty similar. We have 133 regals as opposed to 126, 65 vals opposed to 53, 46 alks opposing to 48, 31 lesser jewelers opposed to 43 lesser jewelers, 12 artificers opposed to 13. In both cases we've dropped 5 chance orbs, 218 exalts, and opposing that we have 240 and 31 chaos orbs as opposed to 34. Now I forgot to mention, everything on the left is from the rarity farm and everything on the right is from the quantity farm. The other currency I will not include. As you can see, it's pretty much almost the same. The only thing that's different is the socket currency. We dropped 3 greater jewelers in the rarity farm and 1 perfect jeweler. However, in the quantity farm we did not drop any of those. However, we have dropped 1 annul in opposing to 2 annuls, and for my big surprise, only 1 divine in the rarity farm, and in the quantity we've dropped 5. Now to explain why we dropped more divines, it's very simple. When you're stacking quantity you drop more items, and when you're stacking rarity you have more chances for those items to be converted to higher tiers. So if we're at the same time dropping more items and having them converted to rarer tiers by rarity, this will result in better high tier currency drops. This is why we've dropped 5 divines in the quantity farm as opposed to only 1 in the rarity farm. Now as you can see, simulacrum is not affected by quantity. We have pretty much the same amount of splinters. Now as for everything related to expedition, you can see that quantity has a bigger impact on the mechanic itself. You can see we have much more artifacts. We have a lot more logbook drops. We're looking at 9 logbooks versus 20. As for the exotic coinage, it's pretty much the same, meaning 44 and 47. But really when you're farming expedition, your main source of income will be the logbooks. We can see that they're going right here for 30 exalts a piece, or you can sell about 7.5 of them for 1 divine. So of course if you're farming mechanics, you'd want to pair that up with quantity because it greatly affects its loot. Now before we corrupt these items right here, let's talk about the summary. In my opinion, you always need quantity on your maps. You ideally want to put pure quantity tablets on your atlas and then run maps that have either rarity or a hybrid quantity and rarity modifiers with them, ideally both. And instill your maps with paranoias for more rare monsters, because initially almost all the rare currency will come from them. You want to treat them like loot pinatas. Now before we end the video, let's corrupt our items and see what we get. I have some omens for the items that are worth having omens on them, and the others are whatever. Let's see. Okay, so here we have additional lightning damage. Let's see how much is that worth. With maximum attack speed, I think we can get a pretty price for that. This one has 2 sockets, however the crit roll is very minimal. It's not worth a lot. We got intelligence on the dream fragment. Let's see if that's worth anything. I could probably get 2 divines for that. As for this one, we have less lightning damage converted to gold, which is pretty useless. This one got accuracy. Let's see what accuracy, how much is that worth with maximum lightning. I don't think it's worth anything. As for those, let's corrupt them without omens. This one had an extra socket. This one got lightning pan. I don't think anything happened to this one. Let's see this one with lightning pan with maximum dexterity and low attack speed. Yeah, this one I think we could sell it for maybe a bit lesser than a divine. This one got an extra socket, but with almost maximum armor, life and chaos. We're looking at, let's tone that down a bit. I think we're looking about roughly a bit lesser than a divine also, but who knows, this might not sell. I don't know many builds who use this armor, but I reckon we won at least on this spear. Well, this brings us to the end of the video. Do not forget, always bump your maps with quantity, because this is where the magic happens, especially if you're stacking a lot of rarity on your gear and on your maps. I of course ran my maps with only 50% rarity on my gear, nothing too crazy, but maybe if we had more, we've dropped better loot. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to put them in the comments. I answer everything. And as always, like if you like, subscribe if you want, and thank you for watching.